is live for us now. She has the very latest from her vantage point there up in Oroville. Elisa, what's the latest?
Well, joining us now live is Eric C. He's with the Department of Water Resources, and really you're the man tonight with the plan who can explain it to us. We saw 2 helicopters going overhead just a short time ago. Tell us what's going on.
Well, we have had a problem with our spillway all week. Started back on Tuesday of this last week, and where a large erosion hole had formed on the primary spillway at Lake Oroville. So we reduced flows, did an inspection, and decided we could go ahead and use the spillway, which we started doing. We were releasing water though at a lesser amount because we didn't want it to have. We knew we were going to have some erosion with by running water over the existing erosive hole. Right. And by increasing the flows, that might increase the erosion. So we had a measured flow that we were releasing over the spillway, and because we were releasing less water from Lake Oroville than was coming into Lake Oroville, the lake was increasing because it was raining quite a bit. We had some wet storms come in, so the lake was filling, right. So we were monitoring the existing erosion on the spillway. It seemed to have stabilized, and so we were comfortable with keeping the flow at that rate. In fact, our engineers, I know, were even talking about the possibility of increasing it, but then we decided, well, things are going okay, so maybe we should just keep it where it is right now. But in any event, the lake continued to rise through the week to a point where the lake was filled. It reached its full pool elevation. Right. And if the lake reaches that point, if it continues to rise, it starts flowing over what we call our emergency spillway, our auxiliary spillway, which is an auxiliary spillway over on the very right side of the whole structure of the Lake Oroville.
And that's what started yesterday.
Yes, right. I'm sorry. I've been here.
You don't know what day it is anymore.
You start to lose track of the days. Yes. Okay. So water starts flowing over that the auxiliary spillway, and we knew when the water flows over the auxiliary spillway, eventually goes down and starts running down the hillside. That hillside is not lined with concrete or anything. This is just a kind of a woodland area, so in grass, and so it was eroding down the hillside, which we was expected. So it brought a lot of soil and sediment down into the waterway down below. But that was expected. But today, about 3 o'clock, one of our monitors, we have engineers that are all over the project right now monitoring, right. Both spillways and a variety of other things. They noticed there was an erosion feature called a head cut that had formed and was actually in the proximity of the spillway structure itself. And so the concern with that is if the head cut moves upstream, erodes upstream, it's bigger. It could jeopardize the structure that the auxiliary spillway is built on. So and because this isn't something that you can really model, I mean, it happened very quickly. Right. They decided to notify the Butte County Sheriff of the situation, and that was the sheriff assessed the situation and the information that he was provided, and decided to issue the evacuation order to protect downstream residents.
Now, again, there's a plan you were talking about earlier at a news conference to now deal with this. So yes. More water was released to lower the level yes. and the pressure of the lake, basically cutting off that water going into that auxiliary yes. spillway. But now there are boulders, we were told, being put into that area, sediment. Explain yes. that.
In that same meeting, this all happened very quickly. The decision was made with by Sheriff Honey to do the evacuation. They also decided to increase the amount of water going over the main spillway. This is the one that had the hole all week. Right. Knowing that probably do some additional damage, but at this point we decided the bigger problem was the auxiliary spillway, and so by increasing that water over the primary spillway, it's starting to lower Lake Oroville even faster. So we were releasing 55,000. Now we doubled it. Basically, we went right. to 100,000 cubic feet per second. So now the lake is lowering even faster. The lake was actually in the process of lowering. The water was getting less and less going over that auxiliary spillway, and so they immediately brought it down. And the reason why they wanted to do that is because this head cut is being formed by the water. I mean, it's the energy of the water that's actually creating the head cut. Right. So by bringing the lake surface down to below the top of the auxiliary spillway lip, you're now cutting off the water supply. You're cutting off the energy that's creating that erosion. So that's the first thing. Right. And yes, we can hear the helicopters coming
above right now.
And so the plan is they're going to continue to. The last I heard was they were going to continue to release that large amount of water to bring the water down on that is on the auxiliary spillway wall to reduce the pressure pushing on the wall. And at the same time, they're mobilizing assets to come up here to effect a repair as quickly as they possibly can. And what I heard was that they were using large construction helicopters to bring large bags of rock into place in the head cut area. I think it's similar to the type of repair you do on a levee when you start to have a levee break. So we have those assets around the North State, and I just heard from our CAL FIRE counterparts. They said we're in full mobilization, and they're bringing assets up north to deal with this incident.
How dangerous is this situation right now? I know we've evacuated people, but the uncertainty of not knowing whether this is going to work or not is out there. It's
very dangerous. It's extremely dangerous, and so because you certainly could have a flood, and that's the big concern that we have. So we're trying to address that by bringing the lake down as quickly as we can. The 100,000 cubic feet per second that we have going down the spillway is less than the design capacity of the Feather River Channel. So in past years we have actually spilled more water than that down the Feather River.
Right.
So so we're below that amount, but nonetheless we brought it up very quickly, which is not something we normally do, but we needed to in this situation. It's a series of decisions trying to make
best of the worst.
The best. Yes, that's a good way to put it. Yes.
I know one of our anchors has a question. Go ahead.
Lisa Becerra doing a great job getting us up to speed. I'm just curious, as far as timeline goes, we were driving in here around 5 o'clock, and we were told by the DWR that within an hour they could perhaps see a structural failure of that emergency spillway. Can you ask them if we're out of the woods, so to speak, in terms of that, and why was that hour timeline given?
So as they were driving up, they were told we're talking about timelines. There was an hour given that flood could happen, that this could obviously be a bad situation. Is there still a timeline, or are we looking at in that situation, or do you just not know at this point?
I just don't know at this point. We're very early in this incident, and I just don't have that information right now.
Do you know why they gave that time frame initially? Was it just to get people out of the area?
Well, I think so. I think the idea was to not fool around, to get the order out and get people, because obviously it takes a while for people to get the word. They can do the reverse 911. There's a variety of tools they have, but not everybody gets that. Not everyone has their phone on. So and people get on the roads. There's going to be traffic jams. I know on the way up here, Highway Patrol already had they were directing traffic all over the place. So and I'm sure that's going on all over this area, the Oroville area. So yes, I think it was to give people the maximum amount of time. I assume, and that'd be a good question. Perhaps ask the sheriff. But
we'll have that later. All right, thank you so much, Eric, for hanging out. I know he has to go back get another briefing. He just came up here. Thank you again.